Imagine two people starting their careers with the same salaries, backgrounds and opportunities. 20 years later, one struggles to make ends meet despite earning a reasonable income, while the other has built generational wealth and achieved true financial freedom. Now you might be wondering, what made the difference? No, well, it wasn't luck, inheritance, or a higher salary. The successful person discovered something that 95% of people never learn: the fundamental laws that govern money. Today, I'll analyze the book The Money Law, which reveals the timeless principles that separate the wealthy from the rest of the population. As Morgan Russell says in the opening quote, "Risk is what's left when you think you've thought of everything." By the end of this video, you'll understand the hidden rules that control wealth creation and have a complete plan to achieve financial success. If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It really helps grow the channel and allows me to keep creating financial content like this. The fundamental laws of money. Most people misunderstand money. They focus on earning more, spending less, or finding the perfect investment, but never grasp the underlying principles of how money really works. Justice Malcolm argues that money operates according to specific laws, just like physics or chemistry. And these laws don't change regardless of the economy, technology, or cultural trends. The first and most important law is that money flows to those who understand its nature, not necessarily those who work harder or are smarter. This may seem unfair, but it's just reality. Money is a tool, and like any tool, it works best in the hands of those who know how to use it correctly. The second law is the law of value. This law states that money always flows to where value is created. That doesn't mean you need to invent the next big technology or create a revolutionary business. Value can be created in many ways: solving problems, making people's lives easier, offering a better service, or being more reliable than your competitors. The key point is, money is never the ultimate goal. It's the result of creating value for others. When you shift your mindset from "how do I make more money" to "how do I create more value," your entire financial trajectory transforms. This mindset shift is what separates those who struggle financially from those who thrive. The third law is the law of accumulation. This law reveals that wealth is built through consistent, disciplined actions over time, not through dramatic events or strokes of luck. Most people chase the perfect opportunity or secret investment strategy, but Malcolm shows that true wealth comes from the compound effect of making good financial decisions day after day, month after month, year after year. This law explains why many lottery winners go broke, while people with modest incomes retire millionaires. It's not about how much money comes in at once, but how you manage, grow, and protect that money over time. The law of circulation states that money needs to circulate to grow. Stashing money under the mattress or leaving it idle in a low-yield savings account may seem safe, but violates the fundamental nature of money. Money is energy, and energy needs to move to generate more energy. This doesn't mean you should be reckless with your money, but you need to put it to work through investments, businesses, or other vehicles that allow it to circulate and multiply. Understanding this law explains why wealthy people rarely hold large amounts of cash. They keep their money moving constantly through diversified investments and strategic opportunities. The psychology of wealth building. Before mastering the external aspects of money, you need to understand the internal game. Malcolm devotes significant attention to what he calls financial consciousness, the deep beliefs, attitudes, and emotional patterns that determine your financial outcomes. Most people operate with a scarcity mindset, believing there isn't enough money for everyone, that wealth is wrong or selfish, or that they don't deserve financial success. These limiting beliefs lead to self-sabotaging behaviors that keep people struggling financially regardless of their income. Wealthy people operate with an abundance mindset, understanding that money is just a tool to create value and improve lives. They don't see money as scarce or evil, but as abundant and useful. This perspective shift completely changes how they make financial decisions. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" they ask, "How can I afford this?" Instead of seeing expenses as lost money, they evaluate every expense as a potential investment with returns. Instead of avoiding financial risks, they learn to manage and calculate them intelligently. If this resonates with you, make sure to hit like and subscribe to support the channel and get more content like this. The financial thermostat. Have you noticed some people never seem to get ahead financially, even when they earn well? Sometimes the problem isn't the salary, but what Malcolm calls the financial thermostat. This concept is simple but powerful. Just like a thermostat regulates temperature, our internal thermostat controls how much we allow ourselves to earn, save, and keep. For example, if deep down you believe you only deserve to earn up to a certain amount, say $5,000, better opportunities might arise, but you'll end up self-sabotaging, rejecting promotions, spending almost everything you earn, and getting into debt, often without noticing. On the other hand, if your thermostat is set higher, even if you earn less at some point, you're likely to find ways to return to or exceed that level through courses, side jobs, college, or even your own business. Changing this internal setting has no magic formula. You need to rethink everything you believe about money, success, and worthiness. Malcolm also highlights a rarely discussed topic: our emotional relationship with money. Many people feel fear about investing, guilt about spending on themselves, shame about earning little, and anxiety about buying things they don't need. These emotions shape our decisions and often hinder us. The wealthy learn to separate emotion from financial decisions. They treat money choices like rational business decisions and don't let emotions dictate actions. This doesn't mean they don't care about money, but that they understand it's neutral. It amplifies who you already are, but doesn't change your essence. The wealth accumulation system. Malcolm explains an organized way to build wealth that goes far beyond the usual budget and save advice. According to him, true wealth depends on three things: having multiple income streams, thinking strategically, and having a long-term vision. The foundation of the system is what he calls pay yourself first, but Malcolm goes beyond the old advice of saving 10% of your income. For him, getting rich should be your number one priority. This means before paying bills or any expenses, you set aside a portion of your income to invest and grow your assets. Even basic expenses come after. It's like treating investments as a mandatory expense, not optional. The system consists of 4 wealth-building vehicles. They work together, strengthen each other, and create a network that provides stability and growth simultaneously. The first vehicle is your primary income. This money comes from your job, profession, or business. This is the initial base. But Malcolm warns, relying only on salary limits you financially. The second is investment income, from stocks, bonds, real estate, or funds. This is the famous passive income that grows even when you're not working. The third is business income, the profits from businesses you own. This can be active work or simply investing in other people's businesses. The fourth is intellectual property income, the money earned from something you create once and sell multiple times, such as books, courses, music, patents, software, or royalties. The key insight is that wealthy people don't maximize just one income source. They systematically develop several that complement and reinforce each other. For example, work provides immediate security and initial capital to invest. Investments provide passive income and tax benefits. Businesses offer higher returns and tax advantages. And intellectual property provides scalable income that continues flowing without daily time investment. Think of it as building a table. The more legs it has, the steadier it is. Another critical system point is tax management. Most people think about this once a year during tax filing, but the wealthy analyze tax impact on every financial decision. This knowledge and legal tax strategies can make a huge difference, saving or earning hundreds of thousands over a lifetime. You don't need to be a tax law expert, but should build financial education and work with professionals who understand tax planning for wealth builders. Investment and money management principles. Malcolm's view differs from common financial advice. While many focus on diversification and asset allocation, he goes straight to the core principles of any successful investment. The first principle is that investing has nothing to do with luck or gambling. Success comes from knowledge. You need to understand what you're investing in, why it will appreciate, and the risks involved. You don't have to be a market analyst, but should master the basics of each investment type you use. Simply put, never invest in what you don't understand. The second principle is that time is the most powerful factor in investing. Time allows compound interest to work its magic, multiplying money, at least for those who understand the math behind it. Malcolm provides clear examples. Those who start early, even with small amounts, go farther than those who start late with large amounts. The discipline of monthly investing over years builds real wealth. This is why when you start matters more than how much you start with. The third principle deals with risk management. Most people think the biggest danger is losing money in a bad investment. Malcolm shows the biggest risk is not investing at all. Inflation, taxes, and low interest ensure idle money loses value over time. So if you don't invest, you're already losing. The right question isn't, is it worth the risk, but how can I manage risk smartly? This means understanding different risks, diversifying properly, and having a long-term view to weather short-term market swings. Psychology is crucial. Many lose money because emotions drive decisions. Fear and greed influence markets more than anything else. That's why people buy high and sell in panic. The wealthy learn to use these emotions to their advantage. They buy when others sell desperately and patiently wait when most are euphoric buyers. Warren Buffett said it best. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Understanding your emotions and market psychology is fundamental to successful investing. Malcolm also teaches how to build investment portfolios focused on growth without sacrificing safety. This includes understanding each asset class, stocks, bonds, real estate, diversifying across sectors and countries, and rebalancing periodically to maintain risk-return balance. Lastly, he points out the common mistakes leading to losses, trying to time the market or following hot tips, building multiple income streams and scaling wealth. The final part of Malcolm's system focuses on expanding wealth beyond traditional jobs and investments. While a job and portfolio bring security, true wealth often requires creating or owning businesses, generating significant cash flow, and appreciating over time. Malcolm outlines approaches to building wealth through businesses without needing to create the next Apple or Google. The first is system building, creating or buying businesses that operate without your constant presence. This can include franchises, licensing existing models, or systematizing services with minimal management. The key is creating cash flow businesses that don't require daily time, allowing you to scale without exchanging time for money. The second approach focuses on developing intellectual property. In the information economy, creating valuable intellectual assets can produce scalable income that grows over time, like writing books, online courses, software, or content platforms. The beauty is creating once and selling repeatedly with minimal extra time or money. Malcolm also discusses real estate as a wealth-building vehicle, but differently from common thinking. Instead of speculating in residential real estate, he focuses on income-generating properties appreciating over time, like rentals, commercial real estate, and real estate investment funds. The key is viewing property as a business generating income, not merely an asset that might appreciate. Scaling requires what Malcolm calls large-scale money management, systems and strategies to handle bigger sums efficiently. This includes advanced tax planning, estate planning, asset protection, and sophisticated investment vehicles usually inaccessible to small investors. While these may seem far from beginners, understanding them early helps make better decisions as wealth grows. Mindset and habits of lasting wealth. Malcolm concludes with personal traits and daily habits that separate those who build lasting wealth from those with only temporary financial success. The first trait is long-term thinking. Wealthy people make decisions considering their financial impact 5, 10, or 20 years out, not just immediate results. This long-term vision lets them make sacrifices today, yielding huge dividends later. The second is continuous learning and adaptability. The financial world constantly changes with new opportunities, emerging wealthy and strategies. Wealthy people continuously invest in their financial education, staying current on economic trends, investment opportunities, and wealth-building tactics. They know success requires constant learning, not just once-and-for-all plans. The third is disciplined execution combined with flexible strategy. Wealthy people have disciplined systems and habits, but remain flexible to adjust strategies as conditions change or better opportunities arise. This balance helps them stay on track with long-term goals, seizing new chances as they come. Finally, Malcolm emphasizes that lasting wealth means aligning money with values and life purpose. Money is ultimately a tool to build the life you want and make the impact you desire. When your wealth-building efforts connect to something bigger than just accumulating money, you're far more likely to maintain the discipline and motivation for long-term success. The Money Law isn't just another personal finance book. It's a complete system to understand and apply the fundamental principles governing wealth creation. The difference between financial struggle and freedom isn't how much you earn or where you studied. It's consistently understanding and applying these eternal principles. Rich people aren't smarter or more deserving. They simply understand and follow the money laws, while most ignore these principles. Your financial future isn't determined by current circumstances, background, or income. It's determined by your willingness to learn and apply these principles consistently. Every wealthy person started somewhere, often with fewer advantages than you have today. The question isn't if these principles work. They have been proven by thousands of wealthy people in different eras and economic scenarios. The only question left is, are you willing to apply these principles in your life? Remember, your future self depends on the decisions you make today, so make them count. If you found this video valuable, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It helps a lot with channel growth and allows me to create more financial content like this. Thank you for watching.